in this lot of questions will be there. It will be interesting from your point of view. Okay. AS28. Now impairment of asset. So when I say asset, asset means all asset. Asset means all asset now. But AS28 cover only some few assets, not all assets. So here asset, which assets are covered? Property, plant and equipment will be covered. Intangible asset will be covered. Investment property will be covered. Investment property will be covered. And leased asset will be covered. Leased asset will be covered. Leased asset right now we have done. Asset given on lease. Only these four assets are covered. Apart from these, all other assets are assets but not covered in this chapter. Means inventory is not covered. Can I say inventory impairment we have done in AS2 only. That is cost price or NRP whichever is lower. That was already impaired. Yes or no? So apart from these assets, no other asset will be covered in this chapter. So what is scope? These statements should be applied in accounting for impairment of all assets other than inventory. Inventory is not covered. Asset arising from construction contract. So we have done construction contract. Whatever asset arising from that contract, that is also not covered. Financial asset. Financial asset means what? All the receivable. Receivable means trade debtor, loan receivable, etc. are not covered. Including investment that are included in the scope of AS13. So any investment are also not covered apart from investment property. So including investment that are covered under AS13, that is also not covered. Deferred tax asset coming soon in your life, that is also not covered. DTA will be done under AS22 coming soon. Coming soon. Means simple word, only what is covered? PP, intangible asset, investment property, asset acquired under finance lease. Asset acquired under finance lease, that will be covered. So only remember this PP, intangible asset, investment property and asset acquired under finance lease. The balance is not covered. Correct. Understood. So what is the meaning of impairment? Impairment means reduction in the value of asset. Reduction in the value of asset. So whether depreciation and impairment are same? Whether depreciation means decrease in the value of asset? No. Depreciation means systematic allocation of cost price or depreciable amount over the useful life of asset. So depreciation is not impairment. So impairment means reduction in the value of asset. This point have you understood? So when I am saying AS28, we are discussing about impairment. So impairment means what? Reduction in the value of asset. Reduction in the value of asset. Understood? Correct. So what AS28 says that we need to compare carrying amount of asset with recoverable amount of asset. Recoverable amount of the asset. Now of course, now we need to understand what is the meaning of recoverable amount. What is the meaning of recoverable amount? A new term in your life. Recoverable amount. Just try to understand when I purchase any asset. Correct. Suppose I purchase this camera at rupees 1 lakh. So what is my objective to recover this 1 lakh? Yes. Because of that reason, so I have paid 1 lakh na. Minimum amount how much I should recover? If I am getting more than 1 lakh, so maja aa raha hai, but not less than 1 lakh. Yes or no? So my question to you, I'll just try to, when I purchase this camera and I paid rupees 1 lakh, so I have an objective to recover how much amount from this camera. So I can recover this 1 lakh by what means? By what means? Either by use or by sale. Either by use or by sale. Either I will use it in my business and I will generate some revenue and I will try to recover 1 lakh. Yes or no? Or I will sell it. I will try to sell it. Means we can recover the carrying amount of this asset either by use or by sale. Either by use or by sale. Understood? Have you understood? Correct. So if you want to sell it, so can I say you need to find out what is the expected sale price? Expected sale price. So what AS28 says that we need to estimate the net selling price. Net selling price. We call it प्यार से NSP. NSP. Net selling price. So what do you mean by net selling price? Net selling price is nothing but expected sale price minus what? Minus cost of disposal. Means if you sell that selling expenditure. Expected expected selling expense. Okay. Or we call it cost of disposal. Understood? So this is known as what? Net selling price. It is similar to NRV. Similar to NRV, but we'll not call it NRV. We'll call it NSP. No, in exam, please don't write NRV. Otherwise, they will also write down your marks. Correct? Understood? It is NSP, net selling price. So can I, this net selling price will be given in the question? Will be given the question. See what is the sale price and what is the expected selling expense, that will be given in the question only. Understood? Correct. Sale price means what? The expected cost of disposal. Means what is the cost of disposing the asset. That is known as cost of disposal. We call it. Correct. Now, from use, can I say you will generate some future income? If you are using the asset, so you will generate some future income. Or we can say you will generate some future cash flow. Future cash flow means cash inflow minus cash outflow. Future cash inflow minus cash outflow. Correct. So what they want to say, when you will use it, you will generate some future cash flow. Future cash flow during the continuing use of the asset, means during its useful life. So future cash flow over its useful life of the asset. Correct? Yes or no? And at the end of useful life, you will dispose of the asset. At the end of useful life, what you will do? You will dispose of the asset. So can you see you have some disposal value? Disposal value. Understood? Correct. Now, if you calculate present value of this, now in every chapter what is coming? Present value. Understood? If you calculate present value of this will become what? This will become the recoverable amount from use, and we call it प्यार से value in use. We call it प्यार से what? Value in use. So this becomes VIU, value in use. Understood? Means recoverable amount is either what? Value in use or net selling price. It is either what? Value in use or net selling price. Whichever is higher or lower. Whichever is higher or lower means, so before saying a thing, you are a chartered accountant. Thing can say. When I am asking question, so it means I am just giving time to Think. Otherwise, I would have said, na, itna, abhi itna, this much discussion I have done. Whether I have asked anything? No, no, I could have asked this also, but I know this too you can't say. So when I'm asking something, think and say. Don't give immediate answer. That only you do mistake. In exam also question will come, you'll give immediate answer. अरे मजा आ रहा है. Think, थोड़ा think. It's a life, life changing exam. This exam is going to change your life. Am I right or not? Till now, whatever exam you have given now, that exam would have never changed your life. In class 12, even though you have scored 50% now, your life would have not been changed. 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%, all are same. But in CA, if you are not able to score, it will change your life. Got this point? Correct ना? थोड़ा समझो. Importance of exam. Value in use. What I was saying. One second. So what I am saying, फिर से बताते हैं. AS20 means impairment. Impairment means what? Reduction in value. Reduction in the value of asset. It means what AS28 say that we need to compare carrying amount with recoverable amount. Recoverable amount means either we will recover the carrying amount by the use, recover the carrying amount either by using the asset or by selling the asset. So if you calculate recoverable amount from the point of sale, we call it net selling price. Net selling price means expected sale price minus cost of disposal. Cost of disposal. This will be given in the question. This will be always given in the question. Because we can't estimate sale price by our own, na? Correct? Yes, this is as per the management discretion. Correct. Now, coming to use, so we need to find out how much future cash flow can be generated from the use of the asset during its useful life. And at the end of useful life, we'll dispose it. So we'll get some disposal value. So it means we need to estimate the future cash flow which can be generated from the use. And then we need to estimate a disposal value. That is the future value we need to calculate by present value at a given rate of discount. That discount rate will be given. So of course you can calculate present value of this future cash flow plus disposal value. This amount is known as what? Value in use. The recoverable amount is either value in use or net selling price, whichever is higher or lower. That I was asking. Let's say this is 1 lakh and this is 1,20,000. My question to you all, if you are getting 1,20,000 by sale and 1 lakh by use, whether you will opt sale or use. Sale only, it means it will be lower or higher? Higher. So it should be always what? Higher. It should be always what? Higher. Understood? Correct? Correct. So recoverable amount means what? Higher of value in use and net selling price. Understood? This much. Correct. Now one doubt will come, sir. Whether we'll do this reduction means whether we need to estimate recoverable amount every year. Means there are so many PP, there are so many intangible assets, there are so many investment property with a company. It means we need to estimate the recoverable amount of each PP, each intangible asset, each investment property every year. Can I say it is a time consuming task now calculating the future cash flow. It is not easy now. Yes or no? Means we need to estimate how much future cash flow will be generated from the use of the asset. It is a task. And can I say if AS28 is mandatory and every year we need to calculate, then we'll do business or accounting. Correct. So can I say, just try to understand, can I say it is not possible to apply AS28 every time. So what AS28 say that you need to impair an asset only when there is an indication of impairment. Means if there is no indication, then AS28 is not applicable. Means if it is a company which is a profit making company, it means assets are okay na. So there is no indication of what impairment. There is no indication of impairment. Sometimes some event might occur. Are you getting what I am saying? Suppose you are going for a company for audit and in that factory fire occurred. Okay, it is indication that asset might be impaired. So there must be some indication which will trigger the application of AS28. Means if there is no indicator, there is no need to apply AS28. Are you able to understand what I am saying? So right now this camera is standing on the roof, correct? Okay. Suddenly, no, not this camera. Sometimes whatever we say, that only happen na. It happens with you. Sometimes you say and that only happen, and always negative thing happen. Positive thing will not happen. Correct now. So let us say similar building, similar class is going, and some other faculty is teaching. Okay, understood. And that camera falls. So it is an indication that that camera require impairment testing or not. So in that case, we need to estimate the recoverable amount of camera. Recoverable amount of camera. Understood. Means if there is no indication, so this AS is not applicable. This AS will be applicable only when there is a indication. Understood. Have you understood this much? So what AS28 says, let us understand. An entity should assess at each balance sheet date. Oh. Acha. Means can I say this AS is applicable on which date? Balance sheet date. So entity should assess at each balance sheet date. At each balance sheet date. Whether there is any indication. Whether there is any indication that asset may be impaired. Asset may be impaired. If yes, then estimate what? Recoverable amount. Then estimate recoverable amount. Correct? If such an indication exists, entity should estimate what? Recoverable amount of asset. Means we need to estimate recoverable amount only when there is an indication of what? Impairment. Only when there is an indication of impairment. This point have you understood? An asset is impaired when the carrying amount of asset exceed recoverable amount. Means if recoverable amount is less than what? Carrying amount. So there will be impairment loss. There will be some impairment loss. Understood this point? Yes, sir. So what are the indicators for impairment? What are the indicators for impairment? This might be important for MCQ. Indicator for impairment. So what AS28 says that there are 4 external indicators and 3 internal indicators. Indicator means there are 3 information which may come from internal information, and 4 information may come from outside the company. 4 information we can receive outside the company. So there are 4 external indicators, 3 internal indicator. Understood? Correct? Let us first start with external indicator. First, asset value has declined substantially. Means the value of asset has declined, the market value of asset has declined substantially. So this might be an indication. This might be an indication, no? Correct. So asset market value has declined significantly. Asset market value has declined significantly. Understood? First indication. Second, there is a significant changes with the adverse effect. Adverse effect. So there is some significant changes with the adverse effect on the entity have taken place. So significant event has taken place in the market which has given some adverse effect on entity. Adverse means negative effect on entity due to some technological, market, economy or legal environment. Means that significant changes happened either in technology or in market or in economic or legal conditions. Means simple example, best example I will say COVID-19. COVID-19 happened, market has gone to recession or not. So external na, we were doing okay, means we are okay only. Achanak the COVID-19 came, our face-to-face class closed. All assets were not in use now. For 3 years, this asset was like this, idle. Are you getting what I am saying? Means we are not able to use this asset. It means the recoverable amount will fall down or not. Means we have done nothing. But due to something happen in the market, that we are bound that we are not supposed to use this asset. This laptop was like this only, without any use. So we started recorded classes, that is something different. but these benches so we are not able to use now. Are you able to understand? For example, the second is it key, it is legal environment. Suppose we are into plastic industry and government has put restriction on plastic industry, adverse effect or not, means we are profit making company, but achanak se one news came, the government has put restriction on plastic industry, then can we use our asset now? So it means it has an adverse effect on our entity or not. So it is an indication that asset might be impaired. Asset might be impaired. Arey, suno. Why I am teaching you? Because I know if I will not explain, you will forget. देखो I can teach in this way also. चलो देखो second third point is what? देखो बच्चों market interest rate has increased during the year. बोलो market बोलो बच्चों. I can say in this way. So market rate has increased during the year, but I will not explain anything. The carrying amount of net asset, you know net asset बोलो बच्चों, asset minus liability is more than what? Market capitalization. Understood? आगे चलो. Internal source of information. First point is what? Obsolescence of physical damage of the asset. Asset is destroyed. This might be indicator. Significant changes with the adverse effect on the entity have taken place in the manner in which asset is used. This may be like example restructuring. We have done in AS 29 plan to discontinue. We have decided to discontinue the business. This might be one example. Economic performance of asset is worse than expected. You expected that 10,000 units will produce, but now only 1,000 units produce. So economic performance is worse than expected. This might be one indicator. Understood? Rat lena. Chalo. Now coming to impairment loss per individual asset. So now what is the formula for impairment loss? Carrying amount minus recoverable amount. Already I said carrying amount, you know how to calculate as per respective AS 10, you know, so you can find out carrying amount. This is the formula, you can read it. Then recoverable amount, already I said what is the meaning of recoverable amount? Recoverable amount is higher of what? Bolo bolo fatapat. Recoverable amount is higher of net selling price and value. This also we have understood, whichever is higher. This also you have understood. Let us come to the next point. Net selling price will be always given the question. This all are bakwas. Come to value news. I can teach in this way also. One page in 1 minute. Maximum teacher will do this. But I know MCQ's question you will not be able to do. MCQ question you will not be able to do. Believe me, I can start this chapter without reading also. Can I take one question? We don't require also. I will take 5 questions and you will understand 5 questions without this note. चलो करते. आज आपको बताते कैसे पढ़ाया जाएगा. And you will say sir मजा आ रहा है. If I can teach in different means your style also I can teach. You think that I am only saying ना? You don't respect. नींद आता है आपको. चला है. कहाँ गया रे चैप्टर? Volume 4. AS 28. चलो चलो क्वेश्चन करते हैं. कौन सा ये? अरे AS 28. अरे ये फाइनल में पहुंच गया. इससे से देखो फाइनल में पहुंच गया. हाँ चलो. You understood the formula? Formula तो you understood ना? चलो हाँ. Question 5. Venus Limited has a fixed asset. You know fixed asset? Yes sir. Which is carried in the balance sheet how much? 500. Like this is the carrying amount. Yes sir. As on the date value news is how much? 400 lakh. Net selling price is how much? 375. From the above that calculate impairment loss. So impairment loss carrying amount how much? 500 lakh. Carrying amount is how much? What is the recoverable amount? This or this, whichever is higher. So minus 400 how much? 100 lakh. 100 lakh is impairment loss. Done. You got 2 marks. Then what is the journal entry for impairment loss? So impairment loss to asset. Impairment loss account debit to asset. Correct? So impairment loss is how much? 100 lakh. To asset how much? 100 lakh. You got 2 marks. How such impairment loss will be shown in the balance sheet? By way of reduction from asset. Khatam. Come to one more question. Question 7. Agro Industry Limited means I can in 3 days I can do all AS accounting standard. अभी वही से करेंगे. 3 days all accounting standard over. यू ऑल्सो एंजॉय, आई ऑल्सो एंजॉय। ठीक है, नींद आ रहा है आपको। Ergo Industry Limited gives the following estimate of cash flow relating to property, plant, and equipment on 31st 12 2001. The discount rate is 15%. 15% is given for which rate? Discount rate. Now here they have given cash flow. Cash flow they have given for what purpose? To calculate value news. देखो understand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many years? 5 years. 5 year given. Cash flow given how much? 5 year cash flow given. Residual value at the end of year given 1000 lakh. So this is the disposal value at the end of 5 years. Property, plant, and equipment carrying amount is given how much? As on 1/1/2000. As on 1/1/2000. Correct. Is how much? 40,000 lakh. So it means we need to first find out carrying amount as on 31st 12 2001. As on 31st 12 2001. Are you able to understand? Correct. Useful life is given 8 year. Useful life is given 8 year. Net selling price given 20,000 lakh. We can do it. So carrying amount at the end of 2001 we need to find out. It is given 1/1/2000. Correct. So after how many year we'll calculate? It is 2000. 2000 na. So 2000, 2001. Just 2 year only na. 2000, 2001. 2 year, but it will be 3 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 years. Continue ground. Let's start for 3 years. Make it what? At the end of this write down na 1/1 2000 2001. It is 2 year na. So it will be 3 years. So 2000 make it 1999. Okay, make it 1999. Then the question will be correct. Okay, so it is 1/1/1999. So now it become 3 years. So we purchase on which date? We purchase on which date? 1/1/1999. And we need to perform impairment testing on which date? 31st 12 2001. So it means after how many years? After how many years? 3 years. After how many? We need to calculate depreciation for how many years? 3 years. Let us calculate. Come to question number 7. Question number 7. Fast करेंगे. बोलो. Point number 1. Carrying amount as on 31st 12 2001. Correct. बताओ. What is the original cost? Cost is given how much? 40,000. It was purchased on 1/1/1999. So we'll calculate depreciation for how many years? Accumulated depreciation for 3 years. So it is 40,000 minus what? What is the residual value given? 1000 lakh. So minus 1000 lakh divided by what? What is the 8 into what? 3. How much it is coming? Follow. 39,000 divided by 8 into 3 is coming 14625. So what is the carrying amount? As on 31st 12 2001. It is 40,000 minus 14625 is equal to how much? 25375. So first answer what? I speak from. So when I am teaching slowly, listen. Otherwise I will change my teaching style. Okay? I can be super fast, huh? But we teach slowly so that you can understand. That time it doesn't look good, huh? because I am also teaching from the morning. In morning 3 hours I take some live classes from my home. Understood? Then I come here at 10:30. Then final class recording is there. Then your class, this is 9 hour class. Understood? So I am also tired. But from my face you will not look that I am tired. Because I enjoy my teaching. But you are not enjoying your study. You are not enjoying your study. I enjoy because I am getting what? I am getting what? This is what? Money. And you need to enjoy because you will get what? Money. Everything is money. In India, if you don't have money, no respect. This is fact. In fact, I am saying. If you don't have money now, your friend will not respect you. You need to earn money. And for earning money, you need to become what? CA. Because we all are from middle class family. Anyone from high class family? For them, I am not saying anything. If you have Mercedes Benz, enjoy your life. Don't come here. But I think all are from middle class family. बोलना रे. So we need to become high class family ना, from our own ability. So we are for that. बोलना yes or no? When I become CA, that time in my house there was no car. In my family, I am saying there was no car. There was no car. But I purchased car. Understood? I purchased car. Understood? I gifted one car to my parents. तो कुछ तो किया ना, कुछ तो कर दिया ना. बोलना yes or no? So that you need to also do ना. So you need to also think about that. So you have 2-3 years to prove it. After 3 years, कुछ नहीं होता फिर. Once 3 years will be expired, and suppose in any case you are not able to crack it, then what will happen? What will happen? 3 years to waste it na. After that also you can do it. But 3 years to waste it na. So why to waste it? Please listen, please. I am for you, so you should be also for me. करेक्ट ना. मुझे मजा थोड़ा आ रहा पढ़ा के यार. मुझे तो पैसा दे दिया आपने. Yes or no? You have given all fees. Now anyone fees pending? Then I will teach properly. You have all given fees ना. Then also I am teaching properly ना. अरे बोलना रही. तो पढ़ो ना रही. चलो यार please, but don't behave like that. I feel demotivated. Once I feel demotivated, फिर पढ़ाने का मजा नहीं आता. Can I start from the beginning? Not from the beginning. I was in what? External indicator. Indicator. Now, what I am saying indicator. So one thing we have understood that this chapter is applicable only when there is a indicator. So there are four sources of external indicator and three sources of internal indicator. These all points are important. I am repeating bar. Why? Because this should be in your mind. Four sources of external indicator and three sources of internal indicator. So what can be the possible source of external indicator that we are discussing? First, market price of the asset has declined substantially. I think for this no discussion required. For this no discussion required. Second, there is a significant changes with the adverse effect on the entity which have taken place due to technological changes or due to legal changes or due to market changes or due to economic conditions which give some adverse negative effect on the entity. Understood? So I have given two examples. The COVID-19. So due to COVID-19 what happened? Market become recession. Market was under recession. So this was an external indicator. Because of that reason there was lockdown and we suffered lot of losses. So it indicates that our asset might be impaired. I have given one more example. The government has put restriction on what? Plastic industry. External indicator means we were doing good only. But now after that announcement we cannot carry out our business. So it means our asset might require impairment. Understood? Then market interest rate has increased during the period. The market interest rate has increased during the year. Now just try to understand. Can I say if market rate of interest will increase? My question to you, present value will increase or decrease? If market rate of interest will increase, the present value will decrease or increase? अरे मैंने ऐसे क्या decrease बोल दिया? Means when suppose you are calculating present value at 10% and you are calculating present value at 12%, which will be higher? 10% will be higher. 10% will be higher. Why? Because less discount, less interest in 10%. In 10% means less interest, 12% means more interest. Are we getting? So if you are discounting less interest, the present will be more. So can I say when market rate of interest will increase, so your present value will decrease, means value in use might be lower, because value in use is calculated from present value point of view. It means recoverable amount can be lower than what? Carrying amount. It gives an indication that asset might be impaired. Whenever market rate of interest has increased substantially, it indicates that the asset might be impaired. Understood? Last point of external source, the carrying amount of the net asset. Carrying amount of the net asset. For example, in the balance sheet, we have an asset minus liability. This is net asset. And suppose the book value is coming 100. So of course, can I say equity will be also 100? Equity will be also 100. Correct? But suppose the market value of equity is only 20. Say due to recession in the market. Due to recession in the market. So this is known as market capitalization. So if market capitalization is less than what? Book value of net asset, it indicates that assets are overvalued. It indicates that assets are overvalued. So it requires what? Impairment. Understood? So the carrying amount of net asset is more than what? Is market capitalization. These are the four external source of indicators. Now let us come to internal. Internal is what happened within the entity. So first, a physical damage of the asset, or any asset become obsolete. Any asset become obsolete. So physical damage of the asset, fire occurred. So that is an internal source of information. Ki fire occurred, now the asset become physically damaged, require impairment testing. Second, significant changes with the adverse effect on the entity which may have taken place in the manner in which the asset is expected to be used. For example, we have done some restructuring program. Under AS 29, we have done some restructuring. We have decided to discontinue one of the business. So if you have decided to discontinue one of your business, it means you are not using the asset of that business. So it indicates that that asset require impairment testing. So plan to discontinue, plan to restructure the operation, plan to dispose the asset before the expected date. It gives an indication that asset require impairment. Last, economic performance of the asset is worse than expected. For example, if you are expecting 90 marks in account, suppose you are expecting 90 marks in account, but you got 60 marks, whether you will be happy or you will be sad. Means even though 60 marks is also very good, but also you said sad because you are expecting how much? 90. So there is 40 marks difference. So can I see you will find out some reasons why you have done such, why there was less 40 marks. So reason need to be identified. So sometime what happened, your economic performance of the asset is worse than expected. Means you are expecting 10,000 units, but we are producing only 1,000 units. It means something happened to the asset. So asset require what? Impairment testing. So these are all internal source of information. Can you repeat with me? For the first external, first is what? Asset market price has declined significantly. Second, significant changes with the adverse effect on the entity have taken places in what? Technology, market, legal or economic conditions. Point number 3, market rate of interest has increased significantly. Last point of this, the carrying amount of the net asset is more than market capitalization. Internal, but the first point is what? Obsolescence or physical damage of the asset. Second point is significant changes with the adverse effect on the entity have taken place in the manner in which asset is expected to be used. Last point, economic performance of the asset is worse than expected. Correct? Now, this much you have understood. This to already I have explained about the formula. So can I say whenever there is indicator, we need to perform impairment testing. What I am saying, we need to perform impairment testing. Perform impairment testing means we need to compare carrying amount with recoverable amount. It means we need to estimate recoverable amount. Then only we can compare carrying amount and recoverable amount. It means the formula become what? Carrying amount minus recoverable amount is equal to impairment loss. So what is the carrying amount? Carrying amount means what? As per respective accounting standard. As per respective accounting standard. Correct. Now one doubt will come because we have done AS10. So under AS10 they have given two model, cost model, revaluation model. Cost model or revaluation model. Now when I am saying cost model, when I am saying PP and there is a cost model and revaluation model. Correct. So we can find out carrying amount यहाँ पर भी, we can find out carrying amount यहाँ पर भी. यहाँ पे carrying amount is based on cost, यहाँ पे carrying amount is based on fair value. Am I right or not? Understood? But can I say when you are doing revaluation, in revaluation so already we have done upward revaluation and downward revaluation. Already we have done. Now downward revaluation means reduction in the value of asset, and impairment means also what? Reduction in the value of asset. Now the question is that if an asset is already revalued, whether it is require impairment testing. Have you understood the question? Question, have you understood? If an asset is already revalued, if an asset is already revalued, whether it require impairment testing. Understand what I am saying? If an asset is already revalued, means you have opted revaluation model, so you have already revalued it. Downward revaluation already done. So whether it require impairment testing? Yes or no? Yes, it requires. Means this AS28 is applicable to both cost model as well as revaluation model. And if you remember AS10, so when I have done cost model, so I have given carrying amount, cost price less accumulated depreciation less what? Accumulated impairment loss, and this become carrying amount. And I said impairment loss will be as per what? AS28. And then revaluation model, I said fair value. Remember, less subsequent accumulated depreciation, less subsequent accumulated impairment loss we have done now. It means even though it is revalued, what is required? Impairment testing is required. Once again, MCQ question. MCQ question. Understood? Because of this MCQ ना इतना detail पढ़ाना पड़ रहा है. Believe me, if there was no MCQ in CA interview, we would have not done this much discussion. Because for me, this 30 marks question is very important. So out of 30, we need to score 30 only. Then only we can score more than 70. So in 30 marks, MCQ is dangerous. So if you can retain all the point, then only you can answer na. If you can't retain, then to we need to Jai Baba ji. A, B, C, D. So what again? AS20 in the first para. Come to the first para. AS28, what is given? Is applicable. AS28 is applicable to both cost as well as what? Revaluation model. Understood? Have you understood? Acha. First you will do revaluation, first you will do impairment testing. First revaluation, then what? Impairment testing. And case revaluation will be done every year, but impairment will be done only in case of indicator. Revaluation can be done at any point of time during the year, but impairment will be done only on 31st March. So there is a difference between impairment testing and revaluation. So revaluation is as per AS10, impairment is as per AS28. So they are both different, they are not same. Correct? So even though asset has been revalued, it also requires impairment testing if there is a indicator. So they will ask this type of question. They may create this type of question, and asset is already revalued, whether it require impairment testing, yes or no. can be created. This type of question. So in that case, carrying amount, can I say it can be either historical cost or revalued price. Revalued price means what? Under revaluation model, less accumulated depreciation or amortization, less accumulated impairment loss. This become carrying amount. This become carrying amount. Correct. Understood. Then I say we should calculate depreciation or amortization. Amortization I'm using for intangible asset, depreciation I'm using for PP, etc. So we need to calculate depreciation and amortization up to current year, means for current year also, because we are calculating impairment loss at the end of the year. So first calculate depreciation, then impairment now. So first calculate depreciation of current year. So it will be including current year depreciation, including current year depreciation. Understood this point? Correct. So carrying amount we can calculate as per the information given in the question. Then recoverable amount already we discussed. Recoverable amount is higher of what? Net selling price or value in use, whichever is higher. Correct. Net selling price means what? Already we discussed. What have we discussed? Batao? Expected selling price minus cost of disposal. We'll call it cost of disposal. Now cost of disposal means incremental cost on disposal. For example, any brokerage cost, any dismantling cost, etc. Correct. So cost of disposal are incremental costs directly attributable to the disposal of an asset, excluding any finance cost or income tax expenses. So cost of disposal will not include finance cost or income tax expenses. Understood this point? Examples of such costs are legal cost, cost of removing the asset, any direct incremental cost to bring the asset into condition for his sale. Understood? Yes, sir. यहाँ तक करते हैं. Now we can take some question if you permit me. Can I take two questions for today? Okay. Only one question. Let us take only one question. Question number 7. So only one question we'll take. From this question we'll try to understand the balance for us. इसका भी टाइम हो गया. Now let us read the question once again. Now they have given Ergo Limited gives you the following estimate of cash flow relating to one PP on 31st December 2001. So one thing is here, 31st December 2000 is the date of impairment. Means on this date we need to perform impairment testing. Am I right or not? Correct. The discount rate is given to calculate what price? Present value. Yes. They have given estimated cash flow. In this chapter they will always give you estimated cash flow. Means they will not ask you to estimate. Thank you very much. Yes or no? So can I say estimated cash flow will be given for remaining useful life? For the remaining useful life, na? It means one thing is clear, remaining useful life is what? 5 years. So they have given 4,000, 6,000, 6,000, 8,000, 4,000. Now they have given residual value at the end of year 2006, means at the end of 2006 it can be sold at what price? 1,000. Then property, plant and equipment was purchased. From my point of view this should be 1,1999. Correct it? 40,000 lakhs. Because they have given 8 year life now. So 8 minus 5 how much? 3 year has been expired. So if it is 11,2000, only 2 year expired now. It should be 11,1999 now. 99, 2000, 2001. 3 year now. So from that I have understood it should be 11,1999. Useful life is given 8 years. So out of 8 year how much expired? 3 years. Net selling price will be always given in the question. It will be always given in the question. Correct. Calculate carrying amount, value in use, recoverable amount, impairment loss, revised carrying amount, depreciation charge. Note the year 2000 is the immediately preceding. Oh my god. before 2000. Oh, so it is 1991 or 1999 only. And so whatever the year 2000 exact is immediately preceding the year before what? 2000 means it is 1999 only. नालायक कुछ भी बोलते हैं कौन समझेगा चलो but we have understood now ठीक है can we start so one by one ठीक है so we are doing question number 7 first what they want carrying amount of PP as on which date 31st 12 2001 so the, what is the cost price 40,000 now all rupees in lakhs so the will charge depreciation for how many years an accumulated depreciation for 3 years it is 40 minus 40,000 minus 1000 divided by 8 into 3 how much 14625 you have already done do it ना लाए तो इतना कर लिया बड़ा फास्ट है बताओ हमको करना पड़ रहा वापस टीचर विल रिमेन टीचर ना मैन विल रिमेन मैन स्टूडेंट विल रिमेन स्टूडेंट करेक्ट ना what do you think I am a good teacher or bad teacher only one person has said oh my god oh my god means one thing is clear I am not a good teacher चलो जो समझना है समझ लो मेरा क्या जाता है carrying amount as on 31st March first point done so this question of 10 marks you got 2 marks 2 marks you got second what they mark calculate value news write down calculation of value news as on 31st 12 2001 so write down year then write down cash flow CF means what cash flow then we have to calculate present value factor at what rate 15% and then present value we need to start from which year it is 2002 2002 3 4 5 can you give me cash flow 4,000 6,000 6,000 8,000 4,000 and can I say in the last year we'll also add residual value in the last year we need to add residual value also because I said present value of cash flow to be obtained during its useful life plus disposal value at the end of useful life what is the disposal value so 1,000 will be added now this is dangerous normally students forget this is danger write down danger normally student will forget this danger now can you give me 3 decimal discounting factor 0.869 then 756 then 657 then 571 then 497 now can you give me present value total give me a total I don't want this amount give me total present value multiply and give it 19,000 90,007 means approximately 19,000 so this become value in use what is the answer given चलो ठीक है approximately it is coming this amount this is also correct ठीक है means they have taken some other decimal ठीक है okay this understood so this become value in use you get another 2 marks 4 marks then point number C Now what they have asked, recoverable amount. Means chapter cannot be easier than this. It will be higher of what? Point number A, value in use. That is how much? 1907. And second is what? Net selling price. How much? So higher is 20,000 only. Therefore, recoverable amount is equal to 20,000. Normally student what is recoverable amount? 20,000 they write. They will not write on this way. You think you will get marks, but we think we will not get marks. Correct now? There are some students who say, "Acha 20,000, they will write without comparing what is to." So you are giving the answer to examiner. You explain them now. You know every point. So writing point, writing pattern also you should know how to write. Correct now? So only if you are writing answer, they will not give marks. See. Next point, what they have asked? Impairment loss. Calculation of impairment loss. So you will compare what? What is the carrying amount? 25375. 25375. Less what? Recoverable amount 20,000. What is the impairment loss? 5375. Only for your understanding, I am passing one journal entry. Journal entry with what? Impairment loss account debit. How much? To what? Now accumulated impairment loss. Just like what? Depreciation. You need to pass similar type of journal entry, na? Accumulated impairment loss 5375. And this impairment loss will be charged to PL account. Understood. Now next what they have asked, revised carrying amount. So revised carrying amount, it will be always equal to recoverable amount, but then also write down this way. Cost is how much? 40,000. Less accumulated depreciation, how much? How much? 14625. And less what? Accumulated impairment loss, how much? 53 will be equal to recoverable amount, but write down revised what? Carrying amount 20,000. Last point what they have asked, next year na, you only give me depreciation for 2002. So it will be equal to what? Revised carrying amount minus what? Minus 1000 na, minus 1000 residual value divided by remaining useful life. How much? How much? 3,800. Done. Chalega. Only one question today. So we have just started this chapter. To give you this, why I have done this question initially, to inform you that chapter is very easy, very simple from exam point of view. Okay? Okay? Okay?